Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Albany Housing Authority Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. As we have no one here to speak community forum, I'd ask for a motion to move to executive session.
Motion made.
May I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Eric, let me know when we're good.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to have a motion read by General Counsel.
And after read, we'll be asking for somebody to make the motion and the second motion. That motion is as follows. Motion to enter into an extension to the option agreement with Metropolitan Realty Group, LLC, concerning Lincoln Square Towers through August 31, 2026, with the potential for further options as determined by the Board of Commissioners in a form of such extension subject to the approval of the General Counsel.
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Vote.
So we're gonna poll everyone.
Individually. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Pastor?
Yes.
Ellie?
Yes.
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
Chairman Whalen votes in favor. Resolution passed.
Thank you. Very good.
Bless you.
That was a good discussion.
We will now move to action items number 06-26-27 resolution approving the sale of 120-3124 First Street in the city of Albany.
As you know, we have had our, vacant properties listed for sale. Again, this is a property in which we have, the Housing Authority has deemed obsolete in terms of the use, for our use. And fortunately, we received a proposal for, purchase and now presented to the board.
Questions, comments, concerns? We've been through a few of these in the last few meetings.
Any of these connected
With what?
with the land bank?
No.
We have one of them. Let's see, is it 18? It should be in your packet, the
Why
actual.
don't you just recuse yourself?
Yeah, from both.
So, we have two more. Recused himself. Any further questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item number 06-26-28, resolution approving the sale of 18th Third Avenue in the city of Albany. Mark will recuse himself again. Any questions, comments, or concerns? May I get a motion to approve? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Item number 06-26-29, resolution awarding a contract for the replacement of playground equipment at Ezra Prentice Homes.
Thank you, Chairman. I am actually going to refer to General Counsel Krimmer to explain the process that we had to go through to get to this point.
So obviously, by the name of the resolution, we're replacing the playground equipment, resurfacing the basketball court. So this is what they call a piggyback contract, which allows us to get the price between another municipality and this particular contractor by the name of Compan. So the total cost of all the work will be $407,701. That contract was competitively bid, so that this allows us to quote unquote piggyback on top of that contract.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Questions, comments, concerns? May I get a motion to approve?
I'm back in, right?
You can vote again.
People know you're here. I'm really here.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Thank you. Item number 06-26-30, resolution approving budgets for Street Apartments Housing Development Fund Corp. Mark Drive Associates LP for the year ending June 30th, 2027.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. As you know, the end of our fiscal year is June 30th of every year, so every year we have to renew the budget. What has been presented to you is for the Patroon as well as the Lark Drive. These are wholly owned properties where it has gone through the compliance period. Now the Housing Authority has ownership in these properties. Thus, the fiscal year ends June 30th. We presented the board the for fiscal year 26-27. I asked our CFO, Brandon Underwood, to attend the meeting to kind of go over the budgets, but I will ask her to present once, I don't know, Chairman, if you would like us to do it together, or...
Let's go through this one
or you
and
both. Okay.
we'll go to the other one.
All right, so prior to voting, I think that it's important to just kind of give a
The
snapshot.
rundown of the budget, or just kind of what our budgetary considerations?
Yes, budgetary consideration.
So when we're doing our budgetary considerations for all properties, right now, we're talking about our 6/30 year-end properties. We work with operations and management. We have to consider several cost drivers that are outside of the authority's direct control. These expenses continue to place substantial operating pressure on our resources and have to be carefully concerned when we're taking into account our revenues and expenses for the upcoming year. In addition to the rising operational costs, I think that you're all familiar with, through our monthly financial packets, our significant AR balances that we maintain here. As far as our 6/30 year end balances, that's overall $671,000 of our total portfolio, $2.4 million outstanding AR for active residents, which represents a significant funding gap, which impacts our cash flow and our overall operations. So the following factors, and I think she's provided you these, so yeah, we've taken into consideration year-over-year cost increases, contract obligation increases, market, how the market has affected our pension and as such, and our operating proration, which is currently at 81%. So taking that all of those assumptions into our budget, that's what we utilize. So collectively, all of these factors, as we have said, create a significant financial environment that we have to be cognizant of here at the Housing Authority. In order to balance these budgets, the federal budgets, we will be utilizing CFP operations funds to balance our federal budgets for the upcoming year. So other than that, do you have any comments?
No, thank you, Brandon, and just wanted to point out, Brandon did provide you pretty much in detail some of the budgetary considerations that we took into count as we prepared for this upcoming fiscal budget. So,
Where is that located?
it was handed out earlier, the beginning of the meeting.
Right by.
We'll make sure you have a copy if you can't find it. Here.
Here.
No, thank you.
There you go. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. But that's pretty much where we stand in a nutshell.
Where's Patroon Street? Where's that?
I was gonna ask that, but I didn't want to seem like I was the only one that was ignorant of where it is.
Patroon is property on Clinton Avenue in Timbrook.
Oh, right.
It's not the street, it's the name of
It's
The name of it.
yeah, there's,
Okay.
yes,
There
there's
had been-
several, go ahead.
I was gonna say, there had been an
Agreement,
agreement
yeah.
potentially to sell that property
To
to
home
home
leasing.
leasing. They did notify us within about the last month-ish that they were not gonna be proceeding with that purchase.
Is that where the DA was? Or that a different property?
That's,
It's the new.
no, that's not, that's Swan. So what you're talking about is where the snow, yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a few units along Clinton Avenue in between other privately owned units that we own as well. they're pretty scattered. So,
Okay. I mean, we're reading this. Is there anything that you guys would highlight?
well, what you see in bold are the highlights. So I gave Chairman mine. Again,
Concerns that you guys?
I will say in general, they're all concerns because these are matters in which we can't control, right? Yes.
We spoke at the last meeting we had about having, people that aren't supposed to be in a person's apartment contributing to the extended cost of National Grid exorbitantly, especially at the building I live in. Because there are several people in that building that have several extended family members that are living with them. And I'm just,
That's a good
concern.
Absolutely, that's a good point, and it does, strain resources. One of the things that I can confidently say is that myself, and our Director of Security are in communications with the DA's office and other law enforcement and other agencies in trying to figure out how we can enforce these matters. Sometimes it becomes difficult, as I said, based on documentation of what we can and cannot prove, but we are actively and continuously, pursuing these matters once we find out.
I would add, we probably, my guess would be, on average, each month, we probably have we file about 5 or 6 evictions based upon having illegal boarders.
Yes, so we do.
Okay.
We're active.
If there's anything I can do to help my building out, let me know.
I definitely will. Thank you for the offer, but absolutely.
Other questions, comments?
Yeah, are we looking at both, this is only Patron, or are we looking at the next one as well, our drive?
The considerations we covered, we mentioned is just overall budget because it's the fiscal year, the same fiscal year, and it's either owned or wholly owned by the authority.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be separate.
But they're separate.
Separate.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so we're on 062630, right?
Yes.
I get a motion to approve. May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I think, we covered most of the discussion for the next one as well, but item number 0626-31, resolution approving federal central office cost center budget for the year ending June 30, 2027. Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none and appreciating the commentary we already got. May I get a motion to approve? May I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. I believe we have a brief advisement from General Counsel.
If I can just go ahead of him. Yeah, I just wanted to, first, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate you pulling this together, and as always, hard work you and your team consistently work on making sure that we are fiscally sound. So I do appreciate it, and I wanted to publicly thank you for that. That also being said, I do want to point out, and we'll go in more details next month, but as you know, every month we prepare and share a vacancy report, and we always talk about our AR balances, how large they are, and they continuously remain, a substantial, negatively impact on the bottom line. That, in addition to that, as we continue to pursue peace enforcement, obviously non-payments, if you show up to court, we work with you, so that's not necessarily an issue. Some will leave on their own, and some not. But we also, as Commissioner Weinglass mentioned, we do enforce the lease as it relates to cause, right? That being said, vacancies and us pursuing lease terminations also contributes to our vacancy rate, right? But also the AR. So HUD scores us according to that, right? How large is your AR? What's the percentage of your vacancy rate? Well, when you're enforcing the lease to try to, one, hold, families to the terms of the lease, which may include paying your rent, right? Sometimes, and what has been happening over these past 2 years, is that it hits us all at once. So in terms of families might be, vacating, getting their lease termination, we're also trying to collect rents, but unable to, even if, let's just say a balance of $15,000, somebody shows up to court, they may only pay $50 a month because that's what they might be able to afford, or that's what is agreed upon. But because of that, and like I said, we'll provide a written narrative next month because we have 30 days to respond. We continue to remain in that standard status because we can't seem to meet the percentage, which is very hard as it relates to a total of, I want to say if you have 93 or less percent, you get no points. So then that puts you in a standard, and this is only the past 2 years that they've changed the structure on how they score housing authorities. So it has become a challenge for us, and not just our housing authority, others, trying to meet the needs of collecting rents and keeping our ARs down, but also trying to meet the needs of not necessarily having vacancies, but enforcing the lease. So I just wanted to put that out there and share, but as I said, we'll have more details next month. When you meet that standard status, we have to respond to HUD with a game plan, which we continue to say the same thing, but it's the criteria that they have set in place that makes it even more difficult for us to do. So I just wanted to share that in my advisement.
Still high?
Pardon me?
Vacancy rate is still high?
Well, depending on what number you look at. Right now, we're at 93%. So when 93% is good to me, but if you have a site, let's just say you have 5 units and 1 is vacant, that's 80% vacancy rate. So it all depends, but when they do it on a accumulated basis, it pulls it down when you have an 80%, even though it's 5 units and 1 is vacant. So it makes it difficult. But we continue to trend in the right direction, but then you get hit. Sometimes in our older properties, I don't know, last year, we had 11 people pass away in one building. Elderly, they were elderly in age, and some may have been sick, but in one building in 1 month. So sometimes we get hit like that. But if you go month to month, you'll see where some are, some locations are trending up, some, depending on how it gets hit and what happens at that site. But we continue to work towards it, try to be creative and try to have, individuals ready in line to move in. But sometimes that slows us down too, because if they don't have, if they don't submit the proper documentation in time, sometimes you got to start the process over. If they don't have, security deposit, there's all various reasons that something might be delayed for that month.
If they're not ready, do they go to the back of the line, or do you have to hold that spot until they get ready?
It depends on the time frame. If you're not ready and you're saying that you need another month or two, we go to the next. Yeah. Yeah. So every circumstance is different.
Further
But I
questions?
just wanted to point that out.
All
Thank
right,
you.
quickly, because this has been a long one. So we're going to I'm passing around 2
Don't sound
documents.
rushed.
I'm passing around
Thank you.
2 documents. One is a letter that that HUD puts out, just reminding everybody of what their duties and responsibilities are as board members. Oh, my notes are on the back, yep.
Can you give Casey another?
So please, by the next meeting, just take a good look at this. Maybe we'll have a short discussion on it. Secondly,
We do this every year, right?
yeah, and then I'm also passing out the bylaws. So last October, we made an extensive changes to the bylaws regarding the election of tenant commissioners. So that is updated. But the balance of the bylaws really need to be updated. They contain some procedures that we have long ago stopped complying with. So at the next meeting, my plan would be we'll pass out a draft of some potential changes to the bylaws. But if you guys could take a look at it in the meantime, come to the meeting with any suggestions that you might have, and we'll try to get those changed as soon as possible. Well, further discussion then.
Thank you.
Is it possible to get these electronically?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I would like to just kind of throw away comments.
I think the most significant thing, and then I'm gonna have a motion, because I don't want a discussion about this. I think the most significant line in this letter is the board, a reminder to all here. The board has no operational authority. No operational authority. In other words, no operational authority. As this rests with the executive director. For instance, the position of executive director is the only personnel over which the board has responsibility. Okay, that's it.
Where are you reading that from? This thing here?
Yeah, okay. Just a reminder, all right, folks, can I get a motion to adjourn? Assuming there's no further question.
There's not gonna be. I think we're all.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Meeting adjourned.
Very good.